They asked his wife, Aisha radiyallahu tabaraka wa ta'ala anha, tell us about the character of the Rasul. So she said, his character was the Quran. If I could paraphrase our mother Aisha, he was the Quran walking. So that you could see how to implement, how to live, how to embody the guidance of the Lord, and through which find success. Yet, when the Prophet passed away, she was 18. She lived, into her latter days and had a lot of time to think and reflect. Yet on all the reflection, the conclusion she comes to is that he was the Quran walking. And that is the miracle of his character. Humankind arrive on this planet. The Quran says, لا تعلمون شيئا, not knowing anything, clean slate. They navigate through life in the absence of divine guidance, blind. So they scream in this pain, and they are battered by the other and bruised in the other, and they go through life through trial and error. There is a lot in life we need help with. If you look at the status of humankind currently, you can't deny that mankind needs help. We need help almost in every facet of life. We thought that we lacked wealth and we're unhappy because of that. Wealth came, we're still unhappy. We thought that it is the weather, and if we could control that, we would be happy. Today you sit in an auditorium, with a click of a button, you're in the middle of summer, the breeze of winter comes, yet still man is unhappy. There is so much you need help with. What you need is light. So out of his infinite mercy, Allah Rabbul Izzah sent you light. قال تعالى, verily there came to you from your Lord light. And light in this instance is in the person of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the divine conduct and character of the Rasul in a book clear and vivid. So divine intervention came, guidance came, light came, but Allah Rabbul Izzah knew your psychology enough to know that just by giving you a book, it wouldn't mean much to you. You can only become what you can see. So Allah Rabbul Izzah sent you a prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he embodied divine revelation. Our mother Khadija radiyallahu anha was by consensus older than the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was entrusted with divine guidance. You know the story. He went to Ghar Hira. So he came perturbed and anxious and in cold sweat and shivering down the mountain into the house and says, Zammiluni, Zammiluni, Dathiruni, Dathiruni, cover me, cloak me, wrap me up. So the wife Khadija radiyallahu anha wraps him and cloaks him, and then when the emotion subsides, asks him what happened. So he says, I don't know, Ya Khadija, I think I am bewitched, something evil has befallen me. So what does she say? No, wallahi, Allah will never forsake you. You're a man who helps the poor, shelters the destitute, gives housing to the traveler, links the ties of kith and kin. Do you understand all the good that she knew about him? She throws these praises at his feet, her conclusion being the heavens would never let you be disgraced. Like never could a spirit of weakness befall you. You see again, a wife intimately aware of his conduct, testifies in privacy to the awesomeness of his character. That is why he is the perfect role model. Can I give you another one so you don't say there's, love involved and husband and wife relationship? Zayd ibn Haritha. This is fascinating. Zayd ibn Haritha comes from, what they call the ancient Arabs, Qahtani Arabs. So he was out living with his tribe far away from Mecca. And the story differs, but the gist of it is he went to visit his maternal uncles. Someone raided the village and they took people, and parts of the people they took was young Zayd, and they tied him up and sold him in a slave market. So Zayd ibn Haritha is about 8 years old, and the nephew of Khadija purchases him and gives it to his auntie, to Khadija, as a marriage gift. So Khadija radiallahu anha gave the young lad to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He will be at your service, and so on. And this is before Islam. He lived with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Mecca is a place where the other Arabs would come and visit. Whether for Hajj or business or tribal affiliations. And young Zayd is on the lookout to see someone from his tribe, and eventually, sometimes later, he noticed two men dressed in the garb of his people. So he realized, this is from my tribe. So he went to them, and amazing culture, the Arab culture. How do I convey my sentiments? He came up with a couple of couplets of poetry, told them, go to my people and say this. Basically it said, listen, don't tire your camel searching for me. I am next to the house of God with the noblest of families. That's it. So they went back and told the father, we saw a young lad, this is what he sent as a message. So the father said, oh my God, my son, he's alive, we found him. Took his wealth, what he could muster, took his brother with him, made the long journey to Mecca, came to Mecca asking, where is this family that has this young lad? Eventually they said, see that one there, that's Abu al-Qasim, Muhammad, the son of Abdullah. Ask him. So they come and they meet the Rasul. And they say, Ya Muhammad, you're from a noble family. Our son was taken, by deception and by force, and he's in your care, and return him to us and ask for whatever money you want, we will repay. So the character of a Rasul, and although not a prophet at this stage, he says, I will do something better. I will call Zayd and ask him if he knows you guys, and if he wants to go with you. If he wants to go, khalas, don't pay me anything, go. But if he chooses me over you, then I am not one to give up someone that has preferred me over you. So they said, this is fair. So young Zayd was summoned. Zayd came. Zayd, do you know these two? Yes. This is my uncle, that is my father. So the Rasul said, Zayd, they have come to take you back. If you wish to go, you're free to go, and there's no need for recompense. If you wish to stay with me, you're free to do so. So Zayd looked, and Zayd looked, and Zayd looked. And he says, I choose to stay with you. Or for mountains of gold, I wouldn't leave you. And imagine Arab culture. No, I am your father and your uncle, and you have chosen this person who's not related to you and no link. What an embarrassment, what have you done, Zayd? So Zayd said, he has been to me a father and a mother, a tribesman and a confidant. I could never give him up. So the Prophet, they're about to argue back. So the Rasul said, I'll give you something better. Took the father, took Zayd, went into the haram, got near the Kaaba and called out, O men of Quraysh, O men of Quraysh, bear witness that from today onwards, this Zayd is my son, and from now on he will inherit from me and I will inherit from him. So honoring him to the level of an adopted son and moving the stigma of slavery, now the parents are happy. The Zayd has been accepted as a son into a family much nobler than theirs, because you know the Prophet's family is from the Quraysh and the Khadimeen al-Bayt. But notice the point, dear ones. An alien individual not related to you stays with you for a while and so overwhelmed by your personality that would go and forgo his own family just to have the honor of your companionship. You see, he is the ultimate role model. There's another thing to note here. Notice Khadija radiyallahu anha. She is a lady who had 2 husbands before the Prophet. In this community here and around the world, a person with, a lady that has had 2 husbands, and they say one died and one she was divorced from, or both died, and the scholars differ, but irrespective, society today unfortunately will deem her that the best days are gone. Yet the magic is when her path crosses the path of the Prophet ﷺ and she is touched by the blessing of the Rasul. This ordinary lady who would otherwise be unheard of and unknown of becomes a lady who today in 2019 I call her my mother and you call her your mother. But she comes to the Rasul carrying a platter of food, and Jibreel came from above the 7 heavens. Ya Muhammad, sallallahu ala Muhammad, Khadija is about to enter upon you. She's carrying a platter of food. Allah has sent me from above the 7 heavens to convey His exclusive greetings to this lady. So when she comes in, tell her Allah sends His salam, and also give her my salam as well. And not only that, give her the glad tidings of a house in Jannah made from a single exclusive pearl. What happened? The only thing that happened is her life crossed paths with the life of this messenger. Aisha radiyallahu tabaraka wa ta'ala, wallahi al-azim, history would not have known her had her path not crossed the path of Muhammad. And Zayd ibn Haritha, history would not have known if his path hadn't crossed the path of the Prophet. And forget about individuals, the Arab race wouldn't have been known had it not been for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I say this to you and Allah is my witness, as his life touched their lives and they reached the pinnacles of human achievements, let his life touch your lives, you will reach the pinnacle of human achievements. For your time and patience, I thank you.